Welcome back to the AARP Arizona Facebook Live series. This video is presented by the Community Education Program. It's a volunteer-led effort that offers basic conversations and topics of interest such as Social Security, Medicare, fraud, caregiving, finances, and more. I'm Jerry Waterworth, a volunteer in the program, and with me today are some of our other volunteer speakers, Joyce, Rob, Steve, Bonnie, Linda, Gary, and Tanya. So today we want to continue with our series on the Fraud Watch Network, an effort by AARP to provide information on fraud and fraud prevention. In this series, we've already covered scams related to COVID-19 and identity theft. And today we'd like to continue this topic with a discussion of other common scams that you might see where you live. And there are many common scams going around daily, and the list seems to be growing. One of those is fake checks. And for that, I'd like to ask Gary to tell us a little bit about that. Gary?
Thank you. What I'd like to talk with you about, when you're trying to sell merchandise, say on Craigslist, eBay, Let Go, Offer Up, let's say you have an item that's for sale for $30 and you have a prospective buyer and he sends you a check for $300. And then when you contact him, you say, oh, that was a mistake. Just put the check in the bank and send me back, the $270. Don't do that. That's a scam. You would say, send me a check for the amount that I have the item up for, and I'll take this check and just tear it up and throw it away. That way you won't be out $270 or $300 at the most, because most of the time when a check goes into a bank, they will deposit it, and it won't be for 2-3 days that you can use it, and it might not be 2 to 3 weeks before they catch up with it and find out that it's a fake check. So be careful out there. I've received many of them. This is one for $1,800, and that was for being a secret shopper. Then I received another one for PCH. I was the second place winner for $450,000, and they sent me a check for $4,700 and said that I can use it for paying the taxes and the access fees that went along with collecting the $450,000. That's a scam. Mm-hmm. What I suggest you do is check with the bank. Don't go by fake checks. The scammers have really come a long ways. They look real. They even have watermarks. If it has a telephone number on it, do not use that phone. Contact the bank itself. Find a number, contact the bank, and check it out, and make sure that the check is legit before you do anything with it. And if you do put it in the bank, wait 2 weeks at least until it clears, and the bank will tell you if it's good or not. They'll say it's not a good check. Okay, be safe out there, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of scammers. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. That's good advice. And another common scam is tech support. And I'm going to ask Linda now to tell us a little bit about what that entails. Linda?
Yes, the tech support scam, you're usually contacted by someone who claims to be Microsoft. You're usually contacted either in a text message or in an email or actually a pop-up on your screen. So let me tell you how the tech support goes down by giving you a story of what happened to a girlfriend of mine. She was online and all of a sudden a pop-up came on her screen that said, you have a virus on your computer, don't do anything, and call this number that you see on your screen. So she panicked and she called up the number on the screen. And the person who answered the phone claimed to be from Microsoft and said, yes, you have a virus on your computer, and we can prove that to you if you go online to our website and you can do a virus scan check to see if you indeed have a virus. So she followed suit. She went on their website and she did the virus scan check, And sure enough, it showed she had a virus. And so they said to her, well, then we can help you get rid of that virus. But of course, we charge a fee for that, and we need your credit card. So she gave them her credit card number. And then they proceeded to tell her, well, now we need control of your computer so that we can help you eradicate the virus. And at that point, she started to get a little nervous about this. And so she hung up the phone and she called me. She knows I deal with fraud and scams. So she said, what do I do? And first thing I told her to do was to restart her computer, which she did. And once she restarted her computer, the pop-up disappeared, and she's never had a problem since. So it was a fake scam. And now, had she given the fraudster remote control of her computer, what would have happened is it would have, instead of eradicating this so-called virus that was never really there, they would have put a virus on her computer in the form of what we call malware. And malware is it's a very vicious virus. And what it does is it takes control of your computer, and the person who puts that malware on your computer can see all of your files, all of the people in your address book, and can read all of your keystrokes. So fortunately, she didn't fall for that. So just to tell you that one of the biggest red flags is that Microsoft supposedly called her. And Microsoft is way too busy to be calling people, tell them that their computers have viruses on them. You should be doing that yourself by having a very good virus software program on your computer and keep it updated and do steady checks of your virus scan program. So that's how the scam went down. And fortunately, she didn't fall for it, except for the fact that she did give them her credit card number, so she had to call her credit card number company and take care of that part.
Thank you, Linda. That's great advice. Another common scam is related to disasters. Any disaster-related scams are quite common these days. So Bonnie, could...
Yes, this scam actually breaks my heart because it occurs when there's been a natural disaster like a hurricane, flooding, fires, things like that, where people's homes and lives are devastated. And it's also a time when people show the very best side of them because their hearts are broken for these victims, and they want to send in donations to help them. The problem is some of the charities that come out of the woodwork are scams, and they are either going to maybe keep $1 or donate $1 that you give and keep the rest for themselves, or maybe they're total scams and they keep all of it. But we need to protect ourselves because we want to give and be generous with those who are victims of these natural disasters. So there's two things that you can do. You could you go to CharityWatch.org or charitynavigator.org. And those are two websites that will give you viable information about the charities that are legitimate. And they tell you basically how much of what you donate goes where. And so you can feel comfortable making that donation. And of course, Red Cross, if you contact them on your own, Red Cross is always there in an emergency, but don't necessarily fall for an email or something that you get. You make the initial contact to make sure you're getting the proper organization. And that would be true of any other charity.
Great. Thank you, Bonnie. There's another scam called the sweetheart scam. And for that, we're going to ask Joyce to fill us in on what that is.
Hello, everyone. The sweetheart scam is also known as the romance scam, and that targets men and women that are over 50 who've become lonely, and they go online to dating sites. And this is where they're targeted by what's called catfishing. And it actually is a person that sets up a profile with their picture, and it also sets up this profile. And they will also impersonate military personnel, and they'll say and do anything to gain your trust. Now, there's signs that show you what a scammer is like, and that's if they ask you for money or if they ask you for a gift card, maybe money for travel or a surgery or education, and possibly to pay off a debt or a business crisis. They may also want to have your email, your address, your phone number, and a photo, and you do not want to do that. You do not want to give them any information. And they like to promise you that they're going to pay all this back to you if you do lend them anything. These scammers work in teams, not just as individuals, and they're hidden under one identity. English is usually not their first language. So what you want to do is look for different spelling errors or possibly language defects that you may see when you're writing back and forth with them. In 2019, there were 25,000 sweetheart scams. The average victim lost $10,000. In total, in 2019, $200 million was lost. This scam, the romance or sweetheart scam, is really on the rise. So before you decide to book the church, here are a few tips. Search Google reverse image by copying the photo and pasting it in the site. You may be surprised who comes up under that photo. And no matter how lonely you are, don't fall for their compliments nor their flirtations. And don't give a photo out of you because it can be used for extortion later. Above all, no money, no personal info, no picture of yourself. Be sure to go slow, watch for inconsistencies, and be sure to contact the FTC or the Fraud Watch Network to report these kinds of scams. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joyce. And next, Rob will tell us about travel-related scams. Rob?
Hello. Travel scams can occur with a simple advertisement in a newspaper or online where a company claims they can realize very steep discounts on travel expenses. And in order for you to experience those discounts, they want you to join their travel club. These clubs, frankly, are very expensive. And what people are finding is the deals that they claim are really not there, and the savings typically are less than what you have paid to join this particular travel club. So if you are tempted to invest a significant amount of money in a travel club, do your research. Do not use their website for your research. Try and independently verify whether or not they are legitimate. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. And many of you have probably heard about the grandparent scam already. And for that, we'd like to ask Tanya to fill us in on what that is. Tanya?
Hi. With the grandparent scam, usually it's trying to play on people being lonely and with the fact that possibly they haven't heard from their grandchild in a while. They get a call and it's like the first thing is grandma. And when you have the soft voice, the grandma might not hear it, begins talking and says the child's name. Or the child's name could have been gotten from social media with all the pictures and everything that people are showing these days. So generally the child is in trouble, may have been in jail, or may have needs something to where money is needed almost immediately. And the key is say, okay, I'll call you back. Hang that phone up and try to call your grandchild because that scam is easier to do than not, especially with all the information that's out there. And don't fall for it. Children call your parents, children call your grandparents, grandparents call your grandkids. Keeping in communication with everyone keeps this scam out of your way.
Good advice. Thank you, Tanya. And finally, our last topic is the foreign lottery scam. And for that, I'd like to ask Linda to explain what that is. Linda?
Okay, well, first of all, I want to start this lottery scam as the fact that it says on their foreign lottery on the slide. And just so all of you understand, foreign lotteries in the United States, to play a foreign lottery in the United States is illegal.
Mhm.
So that's the first thing. It is one of the biggest scams out there that means a lot of money. And that is because when you are told you are a winner, you are not thinking clearly or rationally anymore because you are busy thinking in your head, what am I going to do with all that money? So they push your greed button, fortunately, in that one. And all you want to do is do whatever you have to do to get that money. And so they will tell you that you need to either send them some money to pay for lawyers' fees or taxes or processing fees or whatever. And then once they get that money, then they will cut you a check. Well, let me tell you that that is not how it works. If you legitimately win a contest, a sweepstakes, a lottery, what will happen is if there is any money at all owed, they are going to take that money out of your winnings before they even cut you the check. So don't fall for them asking you to send them money because that's just them just trying to get money from you. And more than likely, it's a scam and you didn't win anything anyway. And just keep in mind that if you were told you were a winner, think to yourself, did I enter that contest or that sweepstakes, or did I buy that lottery ticket? Because if not, then how could you be a winner? Obviously. Just listen to your gut. Thank you.
So for more information on these and other current scams, we recommend the AARP website, which has a section on Fraud Watch Network. Simply search AARP Fraud Watch Network, and there you can sign up for alerts on the latest scams going on in your area. You can get tips on fraud prevention, and you can find the resources in the event you become a victim of fraud. There's even a helpline to help you in case you are a victim of fraud, and that number is 877-908-3360. So the Fraud Watch Network is only one of several topics covered by the community education program offered by AARP of Arizona. Stay tuned for additional information in this series on fraud-related topics, as well as additional videos on Medicare, Social Security, caregiving, and finances. And thanks to all our great volunteers for their support and contribution in this effort. So please stay tuned to the AARP Arizona Facebook page for regular updates from the community education program. There's a lot more to come, a lot of good information, and thank you for joining us today.